Alright, ebusuafo mamuni na makwaba eba GH Politics Avenue. Aha na wo all the trending political stories in Ghana on sa betumi akan. Nene ensema ye de bedum yetifo ne yahwefo e wo channel sonkun yi edemu sonko. Ende di kan aba channel yi so adawo me be so subscribe to channel on na afi why notification bell no. Se be ya di video betuma onipa odi kan ya onsa betuma ka video ni ntem. Na so wetima hu de ekoso Ghana amanyo sem. Hana for the trending podcast stories across Ghana ya highway on sabi to me I can fast forward men ko yeni ye ura hon sensem na wotwi abetu dwane Ghana independence celebration hon sensem na abetu na ensem ni bi ebobo ba no e kire se ye attorney general Yura Dominic Akutingi ayini boaboa ura cases ebi involved Asante regional chairman of the New Patriotic Party ye ura Bernard Ntwibu Sakun dodo na friend chama Wontumi attorney general person ode ehon report any the assembly kosi case management assembly kosi court ode hon krata na kodom His Excellency John Dramani Mahama na afi taking the next decision as to say chama Wontumi dia na esese ye de ye no na ekwan ben ye de ne be fa so se be ya no mo planning no mo hu the next action enti sansemi na Ivan Ndusenchei ya de betu dwa e wo Doy Prime wabra ne omodwetwem komafa ora ehu momenko yinkuti Ivan wabra odisa ansemi etudwa ewo Doy Prime so o cheche ora cases nim baby akodru sika ya ji sika ya nji yinkuti Ivan mrasese ba dedu obi a yene mo beche I Ghana politics ave opo the trending podcast stories in Ghana haya no sebeka yinkuti Ivan mrasese.
Here we are. He says, well, everything in oral is exaggerated.
I think it's very interesting to say the least. I think I heard something like the NDC took advantage of the political situation.
Yes, that's what he's saying.
Yeah, that is quite an overwhelming statement. The question is, what was the political situation that the NDC took advantage of? That is what you need to delve deeper into what that particular situation was. You see, people handed over this country to President Akufo-Addo on the assumption that things were going to be done differently from what President Mahama did in 2016. That was the sort of impression where the 14 Ghanaians gave that particular power. It got to the middle of it and they realized that that wasn't the agenda the government was into, prosecute. It turned out to be something different. It started with a reckless mismanagement of our economy. The numbers got to some level that became so, the debt level became so unsustainable. We were in the market borrowing as if there were no tomorrow. So these were the actual situation on the ground at the time that infuriated the people of this country. It got to a time political corruption became so visible to the extent that you could touch it. And this wasn't the NDC, because Ghana is not an NDC environment. It's an environment for Ghanaians. They felt it. PDS was an obvious reality and a classic example of corruption, which the president at the time should have investigated. What became of it? They sat aloof and watch on. That is why the president got the name, he was named the clearing agent, because under him, we are here today. Today, people are making noise about ORA because at the time, the president failed to do what he was supposed to do. That was to investigate many of the cases. Because you see, as a government, you end up being armed with the resources of the country, both human and financial. When allegations are made, it is your job as a government, because you have the resources of the country, to delve deeper, investigate and authenticate or otherwise of this investigation. But none of these issues were subjected to criminal inquiry. So it piled up and Ghanaians became so much convinced that indeed there were real acts of corruption. And you see, the impact of corruption were actually felt in this particular country, because you see, when people begin to steal so much, it will have a turning effect on the economy. So if you look at the economic numbers, all the rating agencies, Moody's, Fitch, S&P, these are credible rating agencies around the globe. They all rated Ghana junk. It got to a time we could not even go to the bond market to borrow. It got to a time we had to default on our debt obligation, to the extent that for so many years in this particular country, we have to truncate investment of local people through the DDE.
Ivan, how does that amount to the 20
I'll
billion?
come there, don't worry. I'm explaining the political situation. He wanted a political situation.
So you want to paint
so the political situation was a messy creation of the Akufo-Addo government. His failure and the reckless negligence to investigate some of these situations that actually occurred occasioned and created the political situation. So you cannot blame NDC, you cannot blame anybody. These were the realities that average, ordinary Ghanaians, so-called neutrals, these were the realities they were living. Then, Ghanaians wanted a certain decision and decisive action to be taken. Then President Mahama made a promise to the people of this country. When I will come out with this concept called ORA. ORA is what? ORA is when you are recovering all the stolen assets. You understand? Yeah. So, at the preliminary stage, an investigation was set up. First of all, let us correct this. ORA was not set up by Okujato. It was the president initiative. So Okujato was just a member of it. You understand? So when the committee was set up, their core job wasn't a forensic audit, but to engage Ghanaians. Listen to this particular case. They were to engage Ghanaians and get those issues of corruptions to be tabulated so that it will be subjected to or will be handed over to a team or an agency with prosecutorial and investigative power to be able to delve deeper into. So on the face value, ORA could have come out with a lot of figures, you understand that? Because these are the preliminary stage. None of it had been subjected to any criminal inquiry. So their job, as was handed to them by the president, you can read their terms of reference, was to engage Ghanaians and solicit some of this relevant information that will help the prosecutorial agencies to be able to delve deeper. So it is highly, erroneous for anybody to sit on TV and say, ORA projected 20 billion, so 20 billion should be taken. You understand? I don't know if you get the argument. So on the face value, that is why the Attorney General on Borare's show made it quite clear that Okujato's their mandate was to collect information from the people of this country on issues of corruption, and even I think they had to slash a lot of them out, and those with value, at the time when ORA was in place, they did not have any investigative power to be able to investigate, to subject any of them to forensic inquiry. So their job was to amass all these documents and hand them over to the AG. You understand? So until the AG is done with the evaluation and the inquiries into the ORA document, you cannot sit and say ORA is a useless or is a scam. No. It means you do not understand the whole concept, because the whole concept of ORA was to engage Ghanaians, collect this information, and then hand it over to an agency with prosecutorial power and authority to be able to subject them to forensic inquiry and come out with a critical fact that will stand the test of prosecution in a court of law. You understand? So that is the whole thing about.
So what motivated the figures then?
That is what I'm saying. That you have been. This is a committee. This is a committee that has handed over a mandate to engage Ghanaians to solicit such critical information, because there were issues of corruption were plenty, and again, the issues or the cases that were handed over to ORA, the cases of corruption in Ghana is not limited to that particular thing. It's just a part of it, a fraction of it. There are several other cases of corruption on the other side which were not handed over to ORA. It's the reason why the minister went to Parliament and told Parliament that they have retrieved a certain amount from a certain number of cases. Such cases, they all come under the umbrella of ORA, because it is recovering all loot assets. It doesn't matter whether Okujato's committee worked on it or any other committee. Wherever it came from, once we are recovering an asset, it falls under the umbrella ORA, because
do you
ORA
honestly think that the corruption allegations would amount to 20 billion? Until the AG completes his investigation and the various prosecutions are done, we will not be able to. These figures, obviously, anybody knows these figures were tentative figures. Well, you understand? Exactly. I'm not sure Okujato was fixed. He was fixed in his narrative by saying that we are going to get 20-point-something billion, and even that was not what the NDC used for the campaign. Because this ORA figure came after. So it is totally wrong for anybody to sit to assert that it was the figure that the NDC sold to the people of this country. At the time, there was no figure. What do you say to him when he says oral is a scam?
I think that is one of those political propaganda. Yes, because
I don't know. He said that without any basis. There is no justification.
No, he's brought some
No. He's just banding documents. These are public documents. These documents are not his creation. You understand? These are public documents you can access. And I am saying that the interpretation you put on it, that will determine whether you are being candid to the situation. You know, this is politics. You can just, propaganda and those things. It's just a matter of just swaying people. But the fact of the matter is that the average Ghanaian today is very assertive, very critical. When you say some of these things, they will subject to the critical.
Are you saying that aura is not being slow? Is that the impression? Because his point is, if
there is no aura. There is no aura. Let's set that. There is no aura as a body, a committee. But recovering asset is in play. And now everything is with the Attorney General. Yes, I agree in terms of the slow pace. Criminal prosecution, takes time. Yeah. But you see, that is what I'm saying, that prior to the election, there was this obvious reality that a certain corrupt practices have occasioned in this particular country. And we were expecting the then President Akufo-Addo to have taken initiative. For instance, when Wontumi was accused to have, invaded our forest with a whole lot of stuff, he went to Koforidua and told the bishop that no, Wontumi had done nothing without having been privy to any shred of criminal investigation that had been done at the time. So he was clear. Today,
he was the president of the republic.
Yes.
He would have been briefed on the matters.
No, but you see, briefing alone wasn't enough. You understand?
So that's the same thing he's saying, that, well, you don't put out a figure.
No, I'm saying that
based on the reportage of people just telling you.
You see, it's understandable. That is a committee being handed a job to collect data from Ghanaians. Yes. After collecting those data, they put it together and put the face value on it.
Okay.
It's highly understandable. Then you hand it over to the appropriate agency to work on it. So if the Attorney General is telling you today that they need to go into them details to be able to, because the sort of assumptions that we make and the sort of projections that we make without having subjected such figures to critical scrutiny.
What I think is that the Attorney General should do us an honest by setting up a special tax committee.
Like another committee again, you mean?
At his minister's day, or in his minister's day, to properly work on this oral document.
Okay, dedication.
Yeah,
dedication.
Oh, I work on this document and then come out to say, look, this were the case presented as. When we went to
this is the number of them.
So the actual one that we are going to present. The other one is
okay. So I think Ghanaians are really worried about the slow pace of this whole prosecution because we are coming from a background where people became so much convinced and the obvious signatures were quite there. That massive corruption avocation in this particular country. And all these things were fact. People could not actually put an actual figure on it. But the fact is that PDS became a scam. So I think Aura being a scam should be substituted for PDS because PDS was a real scam. Look at the wastage that went into the National Cathedral. At the time, the economy was in crisis. At the time, people were forced to forgo their dividend. The government was forcefully using resources.
Ivan, the operational word here is loot.
Listen, no.
Operation recover.
So that's
what I'm saying.
If you are familiar with portions of our constitution, political corruption is not just limited with what has been looted. It extends to willfully causing financial loss to the state. So if you exercise poor discretion, silly discretion in terms of state resources, you can go to jail for that, you understand? And there are a series of examples, people pursued perverted priorities in this country because at the time the economy was in crisis, people were seriously sending people to Israel to go and pick stone to come and build, what do you call a national cathedral. All these things were wasted, you understand? So for me, I think it's too early to rubbish whatever oral document. So we need to take time. The AG need to hasten properly because you see the energy of the public is a bit drawing low. And if you're a government and your energy is not in sync with the general public, you should know you'll be heading towards doom. So what the AG can do, I am not interested in this thing being limited.
Something is saying let's dedicate a committee again at the AG's
the last time when I came here, I told you that the Office of the Special Prosecutor should be disbanded. And the President defended it. He said, no, it should be in play. Then I think some of these prosecutions should be handed over to him. You understand? Because the cases are one too many that the Attorney General alone will be overwhelmed dealing with some of these situations. What happens to the regional offices? You understand? If we really want to do active prosecution, because you see, at the end of the day, the average Ghanaian is not going to listen to anybody. They want to see the criminals who looted our money go to jail. They want to have their money being retrieved. There are people who are not even interested in just retrieval because the current criminal jurisprudence allow us to jail people at the same time, take our money. You understand?
Exactly.
So people have
jail and take our money is the best. It's the perfecto.
You don't want anything.
Plead bargaining.
So brother, what
something that's
people want to see people in jail. But in the past, people have gone to jail.
It entices people to do more. If they have pleaded and bargaining, then people will also commit this kind of
as a young man, I'm worried because if you engage young people who are coming into politics, they are coming with a single mindset. It's an avenue where you can make money and become fabulously rich. So you see a lot of young people join the political bandwagon, all in the name of we were living a certain lifestyle, and we have not been able to establish that conventional red line that scare people. Quite recently, I told you that the recent immediate past president of South Korea is in jail. He has been handed over a life sentence because of certain things that he did. So elsewhere, the powerful can face the branch of the state. But in our part of the world, the wealthy, the powerful always jump over.
China or Korea, they will hang
so that impression is what needs to be curtailed. Yes, you can have issues with the pace of prosecution, some of the issues raised, and a whole lot. But do not downplay the fact that because this is not NDC's agenda, this is a national agenda. Because if you go out to the street and ask any Ghanaian, it doesn't matter whether the person involved is NDC or MPP, who cares? If the person is an NDC, must be prosecuted. Okay. And I think that is the agenda that we need to stop this political.
I think it's a national agenda, not a scam, as you're calling it.
You see, since I started politics, active politics, right, I have never, ever seen any garbage like this oral. And I still maintain.
No, but let's be fair. At least we can. Even as of now.
And the reason why I'll tell you a compilation of garbage is that I will take you to some of the issues, all right? And I'll ask him on it. The 25 billion banking sector cleanup, who is under prosecution?
There's prosecution going on. And I'm asking
there is nobody under prosecution because it was a lie. Nothing has been established.
What was projected?
Don't go that time.
When you were talking, I didn't
don't do that.
When you were talking,
you
I didn't
invited me.
You were asking
make good use of rhetorical questions.
No. Then don't reference me. Don't reference me.
That's fine. So let me talk.
So who would answer that?
No, they are not being
I think so. You don't want to allow anybody. Okay.
We're all talking.
You were asking a question.
I'm asking you.
Yes, now you're asking me.
Luxurious presidential jet travels. Who is being under prosecution on this matter?
My goodness.
Not my goodness. Who is under prosecution on this matter?
The man will
can I ask you a question now?
The man will run away.
No. Because you don't want us to speak as well.
This finance minister
108 ambulance scandal. Who is under prosecution? Recently, this same government came and said they are going to buy new ambulances. I think even double the amount of ambulances that we even bought. They didn't say they are going to service their existing ambulance. Even if you tell me that they have problem with it, or even an engine problem, you can even import the engine in. But you are saying you are going to buy new ambulances. If it were to be in their case, they would have called it a scandal. But we didn't call it a scandal. We are saying it's a wasteful expenditure. A wasteful expenditure.
Did you read the
issue of scandal contained a lot of...
Did you read the Auditor General's report on that, on the ambulance situation, for instance?
And what was the...
I mean, that document has been out since, in terms of the past and all.
Do you have it?
But
what was the conclusion? What was the conclusion?
But it's an audit finding. It points to the fact that some infractions were happening.
$130 million frontier COVID testing scandal.
Yes.
The Nigerian man will come.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
But there was even a call for a parliamentary inquiry into that. No, but I think.
No. When you were talking, I kept quiet.
Okay,
I kept quiet.
Yeah. Okay, just go ahead. Just go ahead.
I'm saying that the $130 million frontier COVID testing scandal. Have you heard of any prosecution?
Yeah, but Frontiers was a scandal, you agree?
I said, which was the scandal? The scandal is that you said a scandal in opposition. You come to power. You come to power, and you are even given the opportunity. Then you list these ones as part of your scandal, as part of your scandals. Then some months down the line to a year now, nobody is being prosecuted on this matter. It doesn't mean that all the cases. It doesn't mean no. You being the host is not being fair.
No, go ahead. No, you said you want to speak. Just go ahead. Yes,
and I listen.
Yeah, go ahead. I think I get you.
They should also to talk.
Go ahead. Yes, just go ahead.
No, I'm excited the way you are pushing the government. I'm so excited.
Of course.
I am excited.
No, okay. So you like okay. I think okay. Okay. So okay.
No, I'll go there.
Okay.
I'll go there.
All right. Okay.
85 million stadium renovation.
Mm-hmm.
Who is being prosecuted? It's 1 year down the line. What you do is that if you think that there was a scandal with it, you gather your documents, you start the prosecution. So on what basis? If they didn't have the document, in fact, they even brought when you even go to the document, there are some documents attached to it. What happened to this document? Where is the prosecution on this matter? I said I abhor corruption, but I also won't let you lie. It's the same. That's why I'm saying that on the issue of 1.4 billion assets being frozen by this government, 1.5 billion
frozen
cities frozen. In regards to issues of corruption,
you say assets.
Assets. Frozen. Assets. In regards to corruption, all right, I'm saying that we are going to push the government spokesperson to give us the details of this.
And when you say we, you mean your party?
Of course, don't worry, we are planning it.
Okay,
we should get ready for it.
Right, okay.
Now, let's go to.
Oh, you have another case there?
Yeah. Okay. 3 billion SMS scandal.
In charge.
Yeah.
Very much aware that the Office of the Special Prosecutor is on that matter. And I'm also very much aware that the Office of the Attorney General is on this matter. And this is where I do have a problem.
Okay.
Where I have a problem is that I think, from where I said, I think that the former finance minister should avail himself to be questioned on these matters. That is my position on it.
Okay.
I still stand on it.
Okay.
10 toes on it with full chest.
Okay.
I am saying that he should avail himself, because the longer he delays on this matter, even if he's not able to be being extradited to this country, at the end of the day, it is the political party that will face it, and he's not bigger than the political.
But most of the things he caused it.
No, calm down, bro.
Okay.
Calm down.
Okay.
Calm down. When you say most of the things he caused it,
the finance minister, the former finance minister.
Why don't you hold him to
help the government to go and bring him?
No.
It's your party member.
I don't think you are being fair to me.
No, just go ahead.
But it's your party member.
Nobody is stopping you. No, but just go ahead. I'm giving you the time. Just go ahead. Just go ahead. No, nobody. But he didn't intervene.
On national service.
Yes.
Those who are culpable.
Yes.
Were in Yoko custody for some time.
Yes.
Before they were granted bail.
Yeah.
On issue of the buffer stock, there's been prosecution that started on it.
Right.
So when he says that Kenofrata started to cause all the problems, I'm asking him, why is it that Gifty and Co. are rather facing prosecution? They'll say
because that concerns the NSS.
But they are here. That concerns what?
The NSS and the buffer stock.
He said Kenofrata caused all those problems. And I'm saying that finance minister makes all payments.
Yes, he's your partner. Tell him to come home.
To all agencies. So what prevents them from going for finance minister in relation to the NSS if he's making?
Okay, so I think can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, because you don't want anyone to ask you a question, no one to talk.
Okay,
can I
ask me the question?
Okay, now I can ask you.
Asking questions. When they were all speaking, I just heard my.
Oh, but let me ask you. Let me ask you so you can. Let me ask you so you can.
Watch.
Oh no,
when they were just.
I think for long. I think.
All right, it's here for the moon. Nama system ojubre. Nama that say ye. Nama share. Higher GH Politics Avenue, Ghana Politics Avenue. Open all the trending political stories in Ghana. Na onsa Wontumi akan. Abusunya enen dedikanya o join your channel issue another platform issue adaruma. Any day no book class. Ebe subscribe to channel no. Subscribe button on not odonsa boss of fefe amaye. We are notification bell no on adomane on ado onsa so aboso. Say ebeya video any video of be a yebeye debet one. Only pedicaya on Sabitumi akan in term no who the air course or Ghana Yamano same imu. After his comment section one Mayung Chawadrini lady and Obabaye or Cabinama cabinet in our own small way in our quest to better our politics and democracy. In our own small way, yes, we debate my a drink chenny and no Babaye bit medino. Na in a cacra bit my Magani democracy in the Tumpono. akoso a video de bedu mi so ani juma e be so be like no wa share ama afoforo so anya bi wo like na wa share ama afoforo so anya bi e da mu nyina ma se mu jibre na mu tie aye Ghana politics avenue upo the trending political stories in Ghana ya na onsa betumi aka ya da ma se mu jibre na mu da hwe na mu tie mbaba